going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day today. This is a live stream. It's going to be an hour long. So if you're watching this after it's published, I'm sorry it's a long video. We have another video that we posted earlier today, and we did some price predictions, so hopefully that can suit you. If you want to stick through this live stream, feel free. I will do 3 coins right from the start, just for those of you that are going to watch just the beginning of this. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. So looking at this current graph, if you guys are new here to Sniper's Tube, you guys see we have a very clear cup and handle that formed here prior to this breakout for VeChain. You can see there was a cup right here. You see there's some depth. You see the cup base, and then you can see right over here is really where that handle formed right down here, initializing this breakout. If you guys want to know how you can predict this in the future, we have a Discord resource. This is free and available to all of you guys, and the link is in the description below. I highly implore you guys to get on this and actually go to our Trading 101 section here. You can see exactly how these patterns look to give you guys a better idea of future pricing when looking at different coins. You can see exactly where that run up occurs. It forms that resistance or that peak. It goes down, forms a trough, peak, trough, peak, trough, peak, trough, peak. You see this handle form. This right hand peak is equivalent to this left hand peak, and then you can see that minor consolidation, and then that breakout occurs. Exactly what we saw here with VeChain. Now we see this huge breakout, this parabolic run up, and if you go on CoinMarketCap, we are definitely up right now. In terms of how far this is going to go, you can never determine the magnitude. Once again, you can always predict price patterns, but we can definitely use indicators here. So we're going to right click our trading view chart. The link is in the description for that as well if you guys don't have trading view, and we can pop up the moving average exponential, relative strength index, 3 moving averages, and the volume. We'll also use the auto fib today just for a little bit of warm up as we move into this next week. I'm going to start utilizing this Fibonacci indicator here for you guys, so we can start learning a little bit more about all of these other indicators. So you can see we are obviously with these parabolic run-ups. Let's pull up the 1-day chart here just to see a little bit of how far we are from this 50-day at this point. You can see based on the 50-day moving average, we're currently about 180% away from that. Of course, that's a lot higher than you want to be if you want to actually put in a position at this point. We were already pretty high earlier in the day, and now we're just way higher. So looking at our next coin, XRB RaiBlocks here, we have a coin graph here from KuCoin. So we'll go ahead and pull up the 1 hour just to see a little bit of a closer price movement. You can see we are currently sloping down overall. If we pull up our bars here, we can go ahead and start drawing on this chart. Let's go ahead and see if we can magnetize this just a bit. Bam. So you can see here, there's definitely this pattern forming down at this point, and it looks to be currently, yeah, it's pretty down right here. Let's actually zoom in here really quick. This is interesting. You can see we saw this buy volume come out of nowhere, and it brought the price up. But you can see we're still kind of slipping back into that channel that initially formed starting around January 11th. So RaiBlocks, in my opinion, based on this chart, we're obviously finding some support here around 138,000 Satoshis. As we progress forward, you can see it's starting to kind of maneuver itself into this wedge. I think as we start to go more horizontal, because it seems like the price is now going more horizontal than it was actually descending, I think that could be an initiator of us finding a bottom. It looks like we pretty much found bottom down over here. Let's go ahead and actually remove this really quick just to get a better view of that. You can see the bottom here was pretty much down here around 115,000 Satoshis. Doesn't look like it was going to go beyond that. Obviously, we had that huge run up afterwards, and if we insert an indicator here, maybe we can actually insert the relative strength index just to give it a little bit of a better idea of where the RSI is at. Looking at this 1 hour chart, you can see RSI did hit bottom right here. So this does look to be the bottom. You can see RSI, anytime it's under 30, it's oversold. Anything over 70 is overbought. So when it's oversold, there's definitely that potential for prices to go back up. That typically means you found the bottom of the price zone right there. You can see we hit that one time. We're hitting the RSI bottom 30 here, and now we're heading towards this wedge. I think as we get tighter and tighter here with RaiBlocks, I'm going to start to watch for the squeeze, because as soon as you can see the prices start to squeeze, that's a potential for another breakout. So let's go ahead and look at EOS, BTC, and then take our requests. We got about 382 viewers here. It's 12:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. A little bit late here, so we're definitely going to try to get these a little bit earlier. So you can see this is something we've been watching for quite a while. You can see we formed this huge rounding bottom here, and now we see this little run-up pop out right afterwards. It's something we've talked about for quite a bit now, about EOS actually forming this huge cup and handle, although it kind of faked this out in a way, because you can see the handle here is really where things started. We have the depth, the cup base, and we see this bottom run up, and now we're starting to see this starting to pop up. Now the one thing about EOS that I would caution away from is the fact that if you look at the volume, it's pretty low right now compared to where it was as it saw that volume pushing it up. So when the volume starts to decrease, that could be a potential sign that it's not going to have as much price magnitude as we've seen in the past when the volume was really high. You can see this huge spur of volume is really what started to cause this reversal away from this bottom that was found right around 8,635 Satoshis. So I would say at this point, being the fact that we are in this breakout mode, we are just now entering breakout mode. You can see the past resistance level was right around 160,000 Satoshis. And then we had that wicks that was all the way up here around 236,000 Satoshis. So what I would say at this point, I mean, it is starting to break out. I think EOS hasn't really seen the majority of its true breakout just yet. Being the fact that we're forming this slope here, we're more than likely to start heading up and seeing price movements head up. What I would do is set up your stop losses right under this handle, because if it does go back down, we have all this room to free fall. So you definitely don't want to be in that position. You want to have your stop losses set up around these levels to ensure maximum profit potential and maximum capital retention. So let's go ahead and take some requests here from our YouTube chat and see what people have to say. Let's see what requests we have and who is online. Let's go ahead and pop this out here. Welcome to the stream. We got Balanax X, Michael E, Dennis S, Dane Muss in the house, Womp Womp in the house, Brian Rivers. Good to have you, Brian. I always see your comments on our videos, man. I love them. He said TRX. Let's take Brian's request here. We'll do TRX BTC and then pop that up. Trevor Lamb is in the house. We got Dan and Aaron Bernan, Dave Mickelrath. I like that one. Amorfied. That's an interesting one. Steve T, Chris W, Adam Frederick is here. Mr. Frederick, I don't know, I remember that name for some reason. Let's go ahead and remove these drawing tools. Who else do we got? Azumi, Ilmars, Vampire, Exile, Sultan, Dill. Paul Poyler said, how about Stellar? We'll definitely look at Stellar. Man, I posted like one video of a conference. Everybody freaks out. I'm like, you know what? I'm not posting any more video conferences just because there was an individual. I'm not going to name him. You guys know who it is that was there. It was a crypto conference. I was there for crypto. That was the one reason I was there, for crypto. And then everybody has to freak out. So, you know, I don't mind it. I love you guys. You know, it's fun. It's funny for me when I see that type of stuff happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, sensitive people. Anyways, Trofer said that was amusing. I guess it was, right? You know, I don't like drama. I'm more of like a relaxed person, you know. I'm kind of just chilling, relaxing. Like, I don't mind, you know. Somebody said, what happened? I just posted videos. I posted two videos at a conference, and everybody freaked out because there was someone there that not a lot of people are too fond of, I guess. Very clear support line here on Tron, which is really cool to see, because you really want to be able to find these levels so you can have an indicator of where prices could head. Somebody said, Trevor said, wait, who was in the video? Amit said, don't worry, I saw that. No hate to you. Yeah, for sure. So he said, LO, hey, I want to see post it. Don't listen to the petty people. Danielle, thank you, Danielle. Got my back. I appreciate that. Trevor Lamb said, who was at the conference? There were some crypto multimillionaires at the conference. You know, really cool conference. You know, they talked about Stellar. It was funny the way they put it. One individual who's known to promote Stellar, but still, I mean, he has some really good points. You know, he said, if you think Ripple's worth $1.42, and that's basically 7 times where Stellar's price is right now, then you must like Ripple 7 times more than you like Stellar, when Stellar's demographic and their target audience is an open community. You know, they're trying to bank the unbanked. Same technology as Ripple, same founder as Ripple, same coin as Ripple, is forked from Ripple, but 7 times less of a price than Ripple, where Ripple is a closed-off ecosystem that is only utilized for banks, right? So, you know, he brought up some really good points about where Stellar's price is possibly going to go over the next couple of weeks and months, and it was a really cool, you know, mindset. And Sultan said, "I'd love," yeah, that's good, man. Somebody said PPT beta launching soon. Sultan said he's about the course. That's awesome, man. Just and Cow, not a huge fan. I support whatever you post. Yeah, you guys found out who it is now. I don't want to even say the name. As soon as the algorithm on YouTube detects it, it's just going to send over all the trolls. I'm just kidding. So you can see there's these clear lines here forming here with Tron. Very, very clear lines here. So I'm glad that there's a channel that we're following right now. Still in descending mode. However, I think as we start to get down to these lower lows, we might start seeing some correction. You can see we actually went all the way down back to where we found support back here in January 2nd. You can see this is where we found support, really around this area. And your goal with these support lines, guys, is just keep narrowing things down. Keep on, you guys have to keep on channeling things down. The more you can channel things down, the more accurate you can become with your predictions. Because you can see here, this is really tight right now. It's getting really tight. I think Tron has seen quite a bit of downfall. We're just now about to break this current support or resistance level. You can see even here, we can pretty much draw this right over here just to have a place to watch. You know, and you really want to play around. You know, you want to play around with these graphs. See how narrow you can get things. See how many patterns you can see and find. So what I'm looking at right now with Tron, I mean, it's all over the place. Let me clear out some of these indicators. Let me just remove all of this really quick. I'm gonna do a one-day chart. I just want to get a basic view really quick. Sometimes you can overuse some of these indicators. Let's pull up the RSI and the 3 moving averages just to get a quick viewpoint. So you can see this is the 50-day, and I wanted to bring up this 50-day moving average for you guys because Tron actually is known to jump off of this 50-day. So this correction that occurred here, when we saw that huge hype with that run up, it bounced right on top of that 50-day. As you can see in red, that's the 50-day moving average. And as soon as we bounced on top of that with Tron, we saw this huge buy volume come in. And if we pull up the volume here, let's go ahead and see where the volume is at. So yeah, this is that buy volume that came out of nowhere. And then obviously volume started to decrease. And then this chart, we're starting to kind of go horizontal now, which is a good thing. And it looks like this pattern is starting to form here. So now that we have these clear levels here, we can go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. See what else is happening here. So here's that pattern right over here. So it looks like our resistance level is right here around 885 satoshis, and it looks like we're finding current support right around 610 satoshis. That's after this huge run up that occurred. It looks like it's about to have another run up, and I think Tron has seen enough price decline. I think we've beaten the horse quite a bit thus far. I'm sure you guys can agree with that. Do you guys agree with that? You guys agree that we've beaten the horse quite a bit now? What do you guys think? Let's see what people are saying. Looks like Tron is ready for breakout. P. Height said. Danielle said he's coming back, I think. Somebody said there's an ad. The name was said is broken. Somebody said, Ernesto said no. Claude said yes. 35,000 subscribed. Nice job, Naeem. How about CND tonight? For sure, Dronivations, CND, XRB. We just did XRB, man. Bitcoin billionaires in the house. Justin Cow, Jana Babe, Doug Messer, Amit, Glenn, Daring. Glenall Daring. Balkan said no. Bobby said yes, good news will come. Somebody said forget Tron, buy LTC. Why don't we look at LTC today? Janice said with new announcements in the pipeline, it's going to be nice to watch the increase. Interesting, Jana babe. So let's actually look here. Here's my opinion. I think we've seen the horse get beat quite a bit, like Claude said. I think we bounced off of this 50-day already, which is good. That means we saw a clear support line here. And I think at this point, we're starting to see these horizontal price movements. I think that's really what's going to happen here with Tron. I think we're going to start to see it go to the right-hand side maybe over the next couple of days, especially with Bitcoin being at where it's at. And then I think as it bounces, I have a feeling it's going to bounce between this channel. And as it bounces between this channel, I think there will be an eventual breakout. However, I don't know when that will occur because it hasn't matured quite yet. You can see here, there's obviously that support line that was built here as well. So you can even draw this out right here. And you can even determine that it did already break out from this wedge that occurred. And now that we've broken out, that's why I have that prediction that we're going to start bouncing back and forth between this support and resistance line. So I would just keep watch. It shouldn't be much of a rush to buy into Tron just yet. Being the fact that we're within this narrow channel, it's always good to find these narrow channels because it gives you an opportunity to really watch for a breakout to see whether or not you should buy or not. So that's what I would be doing right now looking at Tron. Let's pull up a LTC BTC really quick. Somebody said Donnie Sando, LRCLUN or Knowles, please, bro. Deep Brain Chain, please. Mega V. MJ, what's the indicator showing the volume? It's down here with the bars. Somebody said broke fifth wave. TRX. Yeah, maybe we can get into the waves here. Matthew Pye, Super Chat, said PPT. We'll definitely have to look at that, brother. So, looking at LTC, this is a coin that I'm actually looking to get a position in fairly soon. If you guys pull up this one-day chart, you can see we're right around that 50-day moving average again. And typically what happens, you can see how we had this huge run-up. This should have been predicted, being that we were under that 50-day. Anytime you're under a 50-day, by the way, is a really good time to buy typically, as long as other factors are aligning with the fact that it is a good time to buy, like different patterns, for example. But when it is under the 50-day, that should be a point of watch with any sort of coin because it's so low under that average. That typically means that it's undervalued or undersold. I'm sorry, oversold, which definitely can trigger a breakout. So looking at this right now, you can see we had that breakout, found support right around, looks to be around let's say 14,365,000 around let's see 1,436,000 satoshis, and then we can draw that out right over here. It's actually 14 million, and then we can see this resistance line right up here around let's say 19 million satoshis, and currently we're starting to really get more narrow with this price movement. I think the cool thing about Litecoin is, you know, I think over the past couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of attention go towards coins like Tron and Verge and Populous and Nebula and RaiBlocks. And a lot of people have focused away from these coins that have had prominent breakouts in the past, like Litecoin and Ethereum and Monero, or for example, or even Dash. You know, these coins are really under the radar right now. So I think as we see this next wave of breakouts occur, because we really haven't seen those breakouts happen as they should. I mean, we had a 30 or 40% negative day, you know, a couple days ago, but we haven't seen a 40 or 30% positive day just yet. So I think for those of you holding coins right now, it's definitely a good time to hold, being the fact that prices have just been beat down over the past couple of days. I think a lot of traders have kind of receded from the market over the past couple of days, just kind of waiting things out. One resistance level I want you guys to watch here with Litecoin, because we've tested it 3 times already, and then the 4th time is typically a charm. So if you look here, it's right around 18 million satoshis. I think if we can test this resistance level once more, there will be a breakout because of the fact that we've tested it so much already. I think the next time we go up to those levels, being the fact that you've tested it so much, that means that the weak hands have pretty much let loose of all of their coins. You can see every time we let loose, the steepness has shown that those coins have been sold. So it tested it, bam, all those coins were sold. It tested it, bam, all those coins were sold. It tested it, all those coins were sold. And then it just gets to a point where it thins itself out. You can see this decline was a lot less dramatic as this one. So typically, as you see those sell-offs, less and less can be sold off, more people are holding. So when that demand wave comes back in, it's almost like a wave, right? That's how the market works. There's just these waves that come in and out. And as more waves come into shore, it starts to blow that price back up. So my brother said, "Hi Naeem, I'd love to get your thoughts on Titanium blockchain BAR. Just completed ICO, really interesting project. Not on TradingView yet." Yes, you know what? I've actually got this ICO right here in my bookmarks because I'm planning to do a whole video on it. You know, from what I've heard, they've actually not only sold out once, but have sold out twice on their ICO. Not only am I excited about this ICO, there are actually a couple ICOs that I'm excited about. If you guys want me to name a couple, I do have some of them here in my bookmarks. There's another one that just completed. One of my buddies actually just sponsored this huge event. The Gibril network was just completed. They actually are going to release their wallet and their coin is going to be on an exchange. I believe it's February 1st, something around there. And then we also have all these other ICOs here. There's a Dragon Chain. A lot of people are talking about Nebulas. I don't know why I got NEM there. That's not an ICO, but looking at this one, Titanium blockchain. From what I know so far, it's definitely going to be an interesting project. If you guys know a little bit of how this project works, you can see it's pretty much, you know, for me, it's pretty much based upon the fact that the team itself is a solid team. Michael Stoller, the CEO, from what I've read so far, has some steep credibility. So as I do the ICO review, what I'm going to really look at is the background of these individuals, but more importantly, the white paper, because the white paper for Titanium blockchain, I'll go ahead and pull this up here. Let me pull this up here. It's quite a bit, right? That's why I haven't been able to finish it all, but you can see it's extremely detailed, and that's really what I like about these ICO papers, that really go into depth about what their project entails, and they already have that vision board and that plan of action in place for the future couple of months and entering those new years. So I would definitely recommend more of you guys to look into white papers in general. Titanium is definitely one that you guys can look at. But just based on the white paper itself being so intricate, I think it's going to be an exciting video to make, and I'm really excited to do that for you guys. I haven't done an ICO video in quite a while, but this has been getting a lot of attention. So, you know, I'm glad you mentioned it, Claude. There's also another one here that I was looking at. This was actually Omega 1. This was actually created by the team from Bridgewater, which actually works with Ray Dalio. If you guys are on our Discord under our helpful read section, we actually have this book here by Ray Dalio called Principles, and you know, his team is actually the team that's running Omega 1 is actually coming from Bridgewater, and this is a really cool project as well. So there's several different ICOs that I'm looking at. There's another one called Ignite Ratings, which I think is really cool. Not a lot of people know about this one, but Ignite Ratings, you can see it's already got that crowd sell running right now. So this is another interesting one that I'm looking at. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I don't want to go into too much depth right now. I know we want to have these quick reviews. By the way, we're going to be having a Night Owl tonight. Maybe we can talk more about ICOs than Night Owl. I know we like talking about that. If you guys are not on our Night Owl voice chat, we're going to be under Voice 1 tonight. So if you guys are on our Discord and you guys are not on if you guys are not on the Discord, feel free to get on Discord. The link is in the description, and then you can plug yourself into our Voice 1 Night Owl tonight and actually chat with me, the team, and some of our community members. And then if not, you can just listen in, join into the voice chat after the live stream. So let's go ahead and finish up these requests. We got PPT on Super Chat. I do want to thank you, Matthew Powell. Let's pull up PPT really quick here and see what's happening within that channel. So we're testing these resistance levels quite a bit now. We actually drew this out a while back. You know, it's interesting because I think we drew this out around this level, and I told you guys that this was such a narrow pattern and it was so easy to determine how to swing trade, or I'm sorry, day trade this, And you guys could have made a lot of money with these run-ups going up and down, knowing where the support and the resistance lines were at. But as you can see here, we're starting to get a little bit higher and narrower. So it doesn't look to be coming back down to this range right now. So as that occurs, see, this could have went two ways. This might teach some of you guys something. When you have these narrow patterns, they'll typically either do this or this, right? There's either going to be back and forth price movement down here or on top, right? So it would either look like this or look like how it looks right now. And it's almost like it's choosing its lane, right? It's either going to be in the middle lane, the top, the left lane, or the right lane, right? If you were to verticalize this. So knowing where it's starting to form that is really a good indicator on where it's going to break out as well, because it's going to be the same direction as where it's being pushed towards, because that's exactly what's happening when you see this. It's being pushed towards a specific way, and that typically happens because you see these large buy volumes come up out of nowhere. You can see there's this huge bar that just came up, and that will raise that price up. So as soon as you see it heading towards one specific direction, that could be a potential breakout. So PPT might have a potential breakout soon. So I mean, that's something that I'll call right now on the live stream, and maybe I'll even put a position in this, to be quite frank, because I've been looking for a breakout recently. This month hasn't really been as good as other months, at least not as good as the start of December for me. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys say? Has this month been that good? It hasn't been too good, has it? Anybody here making more money this month than they made in December, or was December better? Let's take a quick poll in our live chat. Javier said, my man Tron. Jack West said, hi there. Where can we find a list of new ICOs? Jack West, if you go on our resources under ongoing ICOs, you can actually see all of the resources or the ongoing ICOs right here. So there's a website and you can actually see all of those. Julio Torres says December is better. Yes, I agree. The Rotex said December. Topher said Bytes. Let's see. Cryptech said no because of BitConnect. Jeremy's said I'm crushing it. That's awesome, man. That's good. Brian Rivers said December was better. Stalin said December was worse. Not a good month. Better in December. December was much better, Solom said. Contra said no. Nixon said December was better. Amit said December for sure. Trevor said nope, I got dumpstered. That's interesting. What is a dump? I've never heard somebody say I got dumpstered. That doesn't sound. I just imagine like a dumpster truck banging into somebody. I got dumpstered. Bye, just a cow. It's a school night. I can't stay. That's fine. That's probably my fault. I should have done it so late. December was better, bro. Yep. Kevin R said I only started this month, really. Man, Kevin, we had a great month last month, but guess what? Here's the good news. So the bad news is, yeah, it's been a rough start. But what does that mean for the future? It means that it pretty much can't get really that much worse than it's already been, right? It could get worse, but it's only going to get worse in a predictable way, right? And what I mean by that is if you look at this chart here for Bitcoin, because it's really controlling everything right now, if it gets worse, that means it's going to have to go below that 100-day moving average. And if it goes below that 100-day moving average, then that's going to be a clear indicator that it's going to step into another free fall mode, potentially down to that 200-day moving average. So it really can't get much worse. Now, here's what's positive about where Bitcoin is at right now. You can see we're under the 50-day moving average, right? We don't talk much about that 50-day moving average, but guess what happened to Litecoin when it was under that 50-day moving average for long enough? If we pull up LTC, BTC, you can see we were under that 50-day moving average, and then guess what happened? This happened right here. Saw this breakout. So just like Bitcoin is now kind of where Litecoin was under that 50-day, there will be a potential, in my opinion, a potential breakout in the future to occur. I think we've seen enough sell-off, and along with this sell-off, in my opinion, a lot of those weak hands are starting to kind of get frayed out of the equation. We're going to see another wave of money come into the market, as more institutional traders are getting in, and you know they are because you see more futures launching. If you guys don't know, a lot more futures are launching right now with Bitcoin. So that will proceed with the ETFs, and as ETFs get into the equation, which I believe should start maybe around the March-ish range, because that's Q2 of 2018, I think that's really where we're going to start to see Bitcoin seeing more volume. And as more volume comes into the market, that's like a wave that comes in and just pushes that price up. So it just really, it can't get much worse in my opinion. And if it does get worse, we'll be aware of it because we know the price levels. I think we've kind of drilled that enough into our audience and our community. That right there, this is really the danger zone. Actually, if you want me to draw the danger zone, that might help out some people. Let me draw out the danger zone really quick. So in my opinion, this is the danger zone right here. So if we were to go down to these levels right over here, this would worry me for Bitcoin. Let's go ahead. Okay, let me get this price point. Yeah. Bam, right over here. In my opinion, this right here is the danger zone. So you can see that little wicks touched it, but it hasn't really gotten down to this level just yet. So if we can see prices get down to this level, we see these candlesticks start to form into this and start to descend down, that could be worrying, being the fact that that's quite a bit under that 100-day moving average. So that's what I would be watching for right now with Bitcoin. I think that might help some of you guys. Hopefully, did that help out? Let's see. Somebody said, Jeremy Bates, y'all need to do better coins. TRX is so hyped. Donnie said, January has been accumulation at a discount. Rick Trevino said, why did the video you posted earlier get deleted? I'm not going to be posting those videos, Rick, because a lot of the audience have a certain mindset towards an individual on those videos. And, you know, I just figured that, you know, I'll just release that information, you know, maybe at the Night Owl tonight. That's what I'll do. I'll talk about it at the Night Owl instead. But I have the video. I can repost it if you want. I think I may repost it and just post it on like the Patreon like I did earlier. So that's probably what I'll do. And yeah, if you want the video, just send me a message or something. But it was pretty much a video of a crypto multimillionaire investor talking about Stellar versus Tron, Stellar versus Ripple, and how, you know, Stellar is 7 times under where Ripple is at in terms of pricing, but it has, number one, the same technology, except not only does it have the same technology, it's a fork off of Ripple. It's the same coin as Ripple. It was created by the person who created Ripple, but Ripple is worth 7 times more, but has a lot less of a demographic target than Stellar does, because Stellar is targeting the open source community versus Ripple, where you have to pay to use Ripple and you have to be a bank, because that's the niche that it's going towards, while Stellar is going towards the world, right? To unbank or to bank the unbanked. So, you know, he just brought up a really good argument about how Stellar, you know, you know, if Ripple is worth $1.42, Stellar should be worth, you know, a lot higher than Ripple, and it's either Ripple is overpriced or Stellar's underpriced. So either or, right? So that's kind of what the video is about. There you go. Dane Mass said, is there a guy for my 56-year-old father to get into this? It's too fast for me to explain. 5% to him, haha. He's jobless and wants to travel. I don't know what you're talking about, Dane, but, you know, maybe get him on the live streams. Hey, Aussie Jess here. Love your stuff. Thank you, Jerome. I bought BTC high. Would you still sell at the highs and buy at the lows? You are a champion. Yes. You want to be strong. If you bought too high and you're negative, the cool thing about this market that I like, that wasn't apparent and wasn't like the stock market, is if something goes down, if you just wait out, if you wait it out, you typically can sell that back at higher prices. So, you know, in the stock market, you couldn't do that. When I traded stocks, if the prices went down, it took months to go back to those levels. Man, I remember buying GoPro, right? It was like at $97 and it crashed down to like $9. It's still at like $10. It's probably less than $9 now. I don't even know where it's at, but it just doesn't go back up, right? And it crashes hard. It just doesn't go up hard in the stock market. Netflix has done really well over the past couple of years. Sultan said, yes, David Levine is sharp. Yes. Somebody said, could you post it in disabled comments or unlisted? I don't like disabling comments or disabling ratings. I just kind of feel like it becomes more centralized, and I'd rather have the crypto channel almost like as decentralized as possible. You know what I mean? I'll repost it on Patreon. I posted it for all the rubies and above. So if you're a ruby and above on Patreon, you know, you'll get that. You'll get that. Somebody said Roger. Cisco. Did you hear about the Telegram coin that's being released? It's the Telegram coin. Look. I don't know if you guys heard of this, but Telegram is actually releasing a coin soon. But it's called the Tron, T-O-N. I don't know if you guys heard of that. Tron is being touted as a scalable multi-blockchain architecture using a proof-of-stake protocol to address what the white paper describes as major hurdles facing cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They've already got a huge demographic. So you guys had to watch out for those type of coins, right? When the major institution comes out with a coin, that could potentially lead to something large in base. Julio said yes. Hey, let's do a Q&A. Let's do a quick Q&A. You guys can ask some questions. Maybe you guys have some questions in mind. I want to do a quick Q&A since we've done some coins. And you know, the market's down right now. I don't think people have as much requests as you know they used to, because most coins are down. So you know, if you were to ask me where should I buy, you want to buy in the red. You know, so in the red is good. So let's go ahead. Somebody said the banks have 99% of the wealth. Better target market, not Stuart H. Good rebuttal. The only issue with that rebuttal, Stuart, is the banks aren't using XRP. They're only using the Ripple net. You know, so the XRP token at this point is rendered almost useless, right? You know, it's used in certain manners, but it's just not necessarily what the banks are using with all of their trillions of dollars, right? They're not using it with that. So somebody said Dragon has the most bad A team in crypto. Interesting. Okay, let's take these questions. Do you think by the end of the year most coins will be up? 100%. I think 2018 is going to be a great year. Don't let these times don't let these times make you guys feel like the crypto market isn't something great. Like, don't let the hard times get to you. That's the one thing I can tell all of you guys. You know, don't blind yourself. You know, there's a saying, you know, never make decisions when you're not at the peak and you're at the trough. Always make a decision at the peak where you can see ahead of you, right? Right now, it's hard to see ahead of you. It's hard to envision what's going to happen in a month or 2 months or 3 months because everything is down and you're like, oh man, like, you know, a lot of people are down on portfolios. Even the multimillionaires that were speaking last night are down. Some of them are down, you know, and a lot of them are just holding, you know, and that's the truth. You know, actually in the video, talked a lot about taxes too. So he talked about how, you know, he's going to be holding a lot of coins because it's going to be easier in tax season now that there's short-term capital gains implied into taxes. Holding is almost like, you know, a quote-unquote profitable way to do this in certain ways. So, you know, it helps you avoid those strict taxes. Somebody said, why are there so many Ripple haters? Well, there's always going to be haters when a coin goes up really high and then drops down a lot. You know, a lot of people lost. You want to know why there's Ripple haters? Let me show you why there's Ripple haters, right? Let me show you. This is why there's haters in general, because this is what happens, right? So coin jumps up. So everybody loves Ripple, right? Everybody loves Ripple. And then that happens, right? And then now you've got a ton of people right over here. If you look at the price right now, right, just with where it's at right now, everybody above this level are at a loss. Anybody that bought at this level is at a loss. So these are all, you know, probably I'd say 20% of these people are haters, whatever you want to call it. But hopefully it helps. Let's do XLM BTC really quick. So here's Stellar. Looking at Stellar's prices, you know, we're talking about Stellar possibly going up. market cap's at 8.8 billion right now. And looking at this chart, you can see here as well, very clear support levels. Looks to be right around 3,756 Satoshis. You can see this is descending wedge down right here. And at this current price level, in my opinion, for Stellar, it has some clear support. Now, it's quite a bit away from that 50-day. It's not exactly where I want it to be. What I'm watching for to get my position in Stellar is I want to see this starting to go this way. Because as this goes this way, this moving average will start to come that way. So as this moving average starts to point more and more towards this support level, I love buying at the 50-day. That's one of my favorite places to buy into coins because it's typically where the coins will bounce. If it bounces off the 100-day, that's also a possibility, but there's typically a bounce at that 50-day. So I'm hoping that this could intersect. So what I mean by that is I'm looking to get a position while, let's say, this price goes and touches here. By the time it touches there, this meets it, and then bam, right over there, it meets that support level, also meets that 50-day, and then it might go down a little bit more to eventually see that run up. So that's kind of what that's my game plan right now for Stellar. So hopefully that helps. Let's go back to the Q&A really quick. Is there a time in the day best to trade? I would say that's a good question. I actually do find that in the morning time for me is a good time to watch charts, and then in the I'd say around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. So 11 a.m., 12 p.m. ish for people on Pacific time. I think that for me is typically the best time to trade, what I've found, because it's typically right before all of those breakouts that happen around 5 or 6 p.m. So, and that's if you're buying, if your strategy is breakouts, right? Trevor said, Naeem, could you tell us about Tether? I'm concerned about the practice of not destroying Tether. Tether, in my opinion, a lot of people use it, so I don't think it's gonna stop being used. It does have a lot of contradictions to it. There is a lot of controversy to Tether, but I just don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. It's not like BitConnect, where they're paying people out and running some sort of scheme. It's more so just this concept of tethering a coin to the US dollar and just keeping it at a US dollar, right? So I don't see that there's much of a fallacy to their system, and it's proven itself quite well. We were at like 91 cents at one point, but we quickly regained that, and you can see they made sure to handle that. But other than that, if you look at the all-time chart, it's pretty much maintained its prices quite well. There's really never been a worry for me, utilizing Tether. So, in my opinion, I mean, there's only much that you can say. What's interesting about it is I like looking at this chart. Let me show you guys something really quick. When you look at this Tether chart and you click price, BTC price, and you see this orange graph, this is telling you the US dollar and its value against Bitcoin. And it literally is telling you that the US dollar is just going down against Bitcoin. That's why I love trading on Satoshi value, because this chart represents the US dollar value against Bitcoin, and all it's saying is the US dollar is lowering in price against Bitcoin. Like if you look in May, the start of May, it was 510,000 Satoshis for the US dollar. Right now, a US dollar is only worth 8,000 Satoshis. That's just, it amuses me. It amuses me. Somebody said, what's with the rumors that the market will go way down this week? There's rumors that the market's going to go down because this is what people are saying. So this is something that happened. We talked about this in the conference. One of the multi-millionaires actually drew this out yesterday for Bitcoin. And this was his prediction. And this guy, he's very educated. He has a PhD and, tons of stuff. I think he has multiple PhDs. But he talked about the prices and where they're headed. And I'll kind of draw out what he drew out. So he talked about this huge run-up that first occurred, right? So we saw all this hype. A lot of people bought. And a lot of inexperienced traders bought in, right? So we saw this price run up. And this is really where inexperienced traders got into the market. People that have never traded before, never been in the stock markets like, you know, I have, and maybe some of you guys have, maybe never traded Forex, none of that. Probably didn't even know about traditional markets, right? Maybe had a Robinhood account or something and traded a couple stocks here and there, but never really had intricate trading knowledge, right? What does that mean? Well, trading is emotional, right? Most of trading is emotional. It's psychological, and psychological traits can't just be manipulated. Psychological psyche is psyche. You know, it's almost like a law, right? Anger is anger, sadness is sadness, depression is depression. I mean, you can't change that. So exactly what happens in this market, you see this happiness, right? This hype. Oh my God, we're all making money. We're all making money. We're all making money. And then bam, prices go up. Now here's the issue. We saw this crash, right? So obviously it's heading down this way right now. Now here's where things get a little bit different, right? A lot of people bought Bitcoin at these price levels right over here. So you see this right here is where we saw that huge candlestick form. This is really where that run up occurred. So I'll do a little pointer there. So this is really where that run up occurred. And then a lot of people bought here. Now here's the issue with the people that bought here. Remember, they're inexperienced traders. They're traders that haven't really had market experience or psychological conditioning based on the market. Because I don't know about you guys, but I've got psychological conditioning with the market. So once that occurs, what ends up happening is it's almost like a bowl. Imagine this was a jar, right? And we had a faucet here, a water faucet, right? And this faucet was dispensing water inside of this bowl. So this is already pretty much full. So this is a bowl of water, right? And you've already got water in there, and the water is the money that was in the market already. And then this is the flow of water, right? What does the RSI stand for? The relative strength index. It's the relative. Do you guys know what the RSI is for? We'll go ahead and show it. I'll show you guys right now. The relative strength index. Let me show you guys the formal definition here. Is a momentum indicator. This is the keyword, a momentum indicator, right? So what is the momentum based on this infographic that I'm drawing out? The momentum is the amount of water flowing into the market. It's not what's already in the market. So however much water is currently flowing into the market is the momentum of water going into the market. And the momentum of water, aka the RSI, is what drives the price up. Without momentum, if the water just starts to leak down, it's not flowing down, it's just leaking down. You see driplets of water going into the bucket. What ends up happening is the individuals that have water in the bucket already, anytime there's more water that comes in and it brings this price up. So you'll see this. So you'll see this price like right here. It tried going up. And what was that? That was more water coming into the bucket. But guess what happened? Because these individuals bought at these price levels, the individuals that bought here, right? That bought here, those emotional traders, they purchased at $12,699, $12,300. They just never sold, and it went down to $11,000. They were negative. At one point, they were positive, and then now they were negative. So guess what happens? As soon as the price goes up, they sell. And then this is what ends up happening. Anytime price tries to go up, bam. Everybody that bought around this area sells. And then it just goes back down. And then, so Bitcoin has to pretty much test these levels constantly to get out of this mess. It constantly has to fill more water in the bucket and then let the bucket seep itself, right? So it's going to constantly do that rather than just going up. It just can't right now because there's so much emotions in the market right now. It's not going to allow the price to go up. So it's almost like there's this force on the top pushing it down right now. And that force is only apparent, and it wasn't apparent before because we saw this correction. So without this correction, that means nobody could see if this was at an all-time high right now, then there would be highs that haven't been met yet. Therefore, that means there's no force pushing down. But now because, so it's like, you guys ever heard the saying, once you lose momentum, it's really hard to get it back? That's exactly what's happening here. That's a big saying in the market. Once you lose momentum, it's really hard to get it back. Now, the good news is, as more time progresses and institutional trading becomes prominent, because right now, when you go on Coinbase and you have a $3,000 limit, you can't buy more than $3,000 worth of Bitcoin. You think that hedge fund manager wants to go on Coinbase and only buy $3,000 worth of Bitcoin? Oh, I mean, sure. All right, you got a $25,000 limit. You think the hedge fund manager wants to invest $25,000 in Bitcoin? No, he's got millions and millions, or she's got millions of dollars to put into the market, and they just can't right now. So, in my opinion, when the market sees institutional money is when this coin will run back up. And until then, I believe that this average right here, this area of price right here, is where we'll start to see that stability head towards this right-hand side as prices start to move forward. Now, what does that mean for altcoins? Well, if this is happening with Bitcoin, in my opinion, altcoins will start to see price movements that are against Bitcoin. And you're starting to see that. So look at this 7-day chart here. This is what's really interesting to me. You look at coins like VeChain, 53.93% up, and Bitcoin's 14% down. So not only is it acting, let's go ahead and pull up the BTC value here. I highly encourage you guys to do this when you're on CoinMarketCap. If you do the BTC value, everything changes, right? So you look at number 20 VeChain, 81% up against Bitcoin right now. You're looking at coins like EOS, 20% up. Tron, 17% up. Monero, 1% up, which is still stout, being that, you know, it's acting towards the positive side of Bitcoin. And then you look at coins like Populous, 16% up. Even the US dollar is 16% up. So what I would be looking for right now is what coins are hedging against Bitcoin. So, I mean, you guys wonder why we titled this video VeChain, right? Well, there's a reason for that, because VeChain, as you can see, 81% up right now against Bitcoin. So there's obviously interest in VeChain as a hedge against Bitcoin right now, because if Bitcoin starts to go horizontal, then you're looking at what coins act inversely, because that could be that potential breakout. So hopefully that helps. Let's continue the Q&A. Let's get all this chicken scratch off the screen and see. Somebody said Congress voted down on auditing the Federal Reserve because they get paid with the dollars that they print. Edward said, hey, buddy, how to know if it's due for a correction? I think we've already seen a correction, Edward. If it goes, listen, if it goes beyond this 100-day, there could certainly be more of a correction. And if that happens, to be quite frank with you, this is what's really going to happen. So here, let's talk about let's be a little bit of a pessimist here, right? Bitcoin's price is going down. Let's say that, right? If Bitcoin, so let's just say this is what we're seeing. We're seeing a bubble, right? Bam. Let's say that's what we're seeing, right? The question is, how far are we going to go down, right? Because if you're holding at this level, you're wondering, okay, do I keep holding or should I sell? Well, this could certainly be the case, right? This could certainly be exactly what happens, right? We'll see prices. This is a bubble, right? We've always talked about us being in a bubble. Now, if you guys look at the past, you can see how bubbles look. If we pull up .com bubble, let me show you something. So there's bull traps and bear traps. And if you look at the .com bubble, you can see here in this bottom corner, the bottom left-hand corner, because this bubble was pretty long, by the way. This went all the way from 96 to the bubble popped around 2000. So about 4 years, and Bitcoin's only been, you know, seeing this run up since, you know, 2017 of March. So when you look at this bubble, though, we could certainly be around this area right here. You see this little area right here? So, like, yeah, this looks kind of similar to this, but this also could just be right here in this bottom left-hand corner where we see this huge sell-off right here. But this was nowhere near the bubble's peak. The bubble peak was all the way up here, right? because we're in a bubble right now. If you guys don't know what a bubble is, it's anything based upon speculative value versus intrinsic value. So intrinsic value is a tangible value of anything. And in this case, there's no true tangible value for Bitcoin yet. It's only speculative. So if the bubble does end up, you know, if we're here right now, then we have all this to go. That's a lot of money. And I believe that's true. We're only, guys, this bubble was trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. We're less than $1 trillion right now. So this could just be the start, right? This could just go whoop and then go all the way up, right? So this is pretty much what would happen, right? Oh, this is a good way to show it, actually. So this could just be a little hindrance for the actual run up, right? And then that may be the bubble. So there's multiple scenarios that can occur here, but here's what I can tell you. To ensure your risk is managed properly, if it goes beyond this point, I'm not holding Bitcoin. And there's a real good reason for that. You don't call that a weak hand, right? No, not at all, because I'm not losing money when I sell. I never sell at a loss. I always, for the most part, not always, I've sold sometimes, and it's typically because I see better opportunity with that money. But for the most part, I don't sell at a loss. I either buy low, sell high, or I buy and then sell and then get a better position lower. So right here is where my concern is. If it goes below this 100-day, which is this green line in the middle, that 100-day moving average, that would be a concern to me, because that, in my opinion, could actually bring the price down. And you guys want to ask me what level it'll go down to? I believe it'll go down to this level right over here. So 6,000 right here. This is where we saw that support line. This is exactly where we saw support, right down to this level. Let me go ahead and do a cross here. I believe if we continue to correct, it's going to be right around this line right here. And that's because we saw really strong support levels right here. You can see there was a little bit more support right on that left-hand side. So hopefully that helps out. Somebody said charts help until they don't. Well, I think they help great. I mean, look at TRX. If you were watching TRX, you would have knew exactly where to buy, right? If you were watching this chart, buddy, check this out. It hit that 50-day moving average. You could have called that a support line, and then you could have made profit. But maybe you don't want to make profit. That's fine too. Nothing against. I'm just saying. Charts, people, they talk about, oh, technical analysis doesn't work. Okay, well, then why are you watching this live stream if you don't believe in technical analysis? If you just want to believe the news and go on news.bitcoin.com and then just stare at that all night. I mean, you know, I'll tell you this right now. I've made more money doing technical analysis than watching the news. I've never made money watching the news. I've only lost money watching the news, to be quite frank with you. Oh, TRX is blowing up. TRX is blowing up, and it's already at its peak. Brian Rivers said, ha 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 ha. Somebody said cyber slapped. I wasn't being mean. I'm just saying, you know. Listen, I've been doing technical analysis for so long that when I hear something, it's like if you're like a doctor, right? And you've done surgery for so long, and like somebody comes into your doctor's office like, this surgery doesn't work. You're like, excuse me, sir? You okay? Like, you need some medicine? I can prescribe you medicine. I went to school for that. Because I think you need it, right? Like, I remember one time I walked into, this was my fault, to be honest, but I walked into this, it was not an optometry office. It was, I forgot. It was a laser eye doctor, right? The one that does laser eye surgery. And I walked into his office. I got tested and stuff, and he came into the room to like do the quote and stuff. And I was like, I have a question. He's like, what's your question? I'm like, so, like, does this really work? And I don't know why I asked that question. He looked at me like I was stupid. He was like, no, it doesn't work. He made a joke. He was kind of being sarcastic. He was like, no, I just do this for fun. I just like to shoot lasers in people's eyes, and you know, I just, you know, I get paid for it, and it just doesn't work. I'm like, I realized I was like, all right, that was a stupid question. So I think that I feel like that's how I feel when people are like, does technical analysis really work? I'm like, no, I'm just drawing these lines for no reason. I'm just wasting my time on a Monday night just drawing lines. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, somebody said nah, he need that slap. Hey, can you go over MACD meaning? I'm going to start using it in the MACD. I just didn't want to get into it too much yet. Somebody says, is that vodka? No, this is sparkling lemon water, mineral water. I'm not drinking vodka right now. Now, listen, technical analysis is less of a influence than psychological analysis. That is for sure. That's why in yesterday's video, there was a professional psychologist, one of the top 5 psychologists in the world, that actually talked about the psychology of Bitcoin. That was in the video that everybody didn't like that individual that was on. But psychology is more of what the market is influenced by, for sure, 100%. But the technical side of it can be influenced by the psychology. And I'll give you an example. So most professional traders are aware of of the 50-day moving average. That's a pretty known indicator, right? So the way that the 50-day moving average correlates with psychology is, as traders see this price going down, a lot of them are watching or even have buy orders automatically set up here at the 50-day. So they're already ready to buy right here. So psychologically, they're looking at the 50-day moving average, which is a technical analysis. So that's kind of how technical analysis can cohesively work with psychological and fundamental analysis. So somebody said Naeem Gangsta. Cyber slapped with baby powder. Different is when I ask you about the Neo, you ignore, but doctor is not. Huh? Still have glasses though. Yeah, I didn't get my laser eye surgery. Can you provide me an update on IOTA pennant, please, bro? We got tons of requests, guys. We're gonna check our VIP access, see if we have any requests. Any requests? By the way, if you guys are not on Discord, we're gonna be heading over to our Discord after this, doing a night owl where you guys can plug into your mic and ask questions for my team and I. We're gonna have our admin, our mods there, as well as myself. We're gonna be under Voice 1. You can see there's already a couple people waiting there. So when you join our Discord, the link is in the description. Don't be stubborn. I know it's a new app. You haven't used the new app in 10 years, but this is a really gorgeous, beautiful social media platform that I think is going to take over a lot of different platforms like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So I would recommend getting on it. There's a web version, a desktop version, a mobile version. You can be in bed listening, but we're all going to be in here, and we're just going to be talking more uncensored information. You can see it's already filling up. So I highly recommend you guys get on there. Let me post this really quick. Any requests for live stream? So our emeralds and our VIPs, they get. All right, perfect. So we're gonna do IOTA really quick because somebody said, "Is it breaking out of a pennant?" And I like to look at past. Okay. Oh, look at that! It's still following the pennant. So if you guys don't know what a pennant looks like, for those of you, let me describe it more in depth here. So when you're looking at a pennant, you're pretty much looking for the converging of the support and the resistance line. So let me pull that up. So initially there's a run up. It doesn't necessarily have to look like this. As long as there's a steep run up where it finds a peak, and that's the resistance, and then finds a trough, which is a support, that's the start of a pennant. So peak, trough, and then here's the game changer. It finds another peak that's under the previous peak or the previous resistance, and then goes back down and finds another trough or another support, and that trough is ascending compared to the previous trough. And then that right there is the indicator of the converging support and resistance lines that squeeze the price into that breakout zone. So that's exactly what we're seeing here. You see that run up, that peak, the trough, the peak lower than the previous peak, and then you can see that trough lower than the or higher than the previous trough, the next peak lower than the previous peak, and then that trough higher than that previous trough. And now we're starting to see that squeeze out. So we're still within the pennant right now for IOTA. This is a potential breakout. Let's pull up the 1 hour chart really quick. We can draw this line up a little bit better. Pennants for me are really fun. They're very accurate in my opinion compared to other patterns that I've used in the past. The pennant is one of my favorites. And it's typically because, you know, there's a lot of good indicators in a pennant. you know, not only is it the support resistance lines, but it's also the pattern that forms alongside with it. So that's kind of the reason, you know, I like pennants. And yeah, so we're still within that pennant. I just kind of drew it up a little bit better just to get a better viewpoint. And that's that. So let's go ahead and start to head over to our night owl, guys. I think we're ready. I mean, we've got tons of people already there. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so if you guys are watching this live stream, I'd love to meet you guys tonight. Don't pass up on this opportunity, guys. This is a brand new space in the world. Cryptocurrency is brand new, guys. You want to get into a community now, not later, because if you get in now, you'll get all of the information before breakouts occur. And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, there are going to be some big breakouts over the next couple of days. So I'd love to meet some of you guys there tonight. We're not going to go too long, but we're definitely going to go over some important information. So hopefully this live stream helped out some of you guys, as long as it helped one person. Somebody said you should ask Ty Lopez about BitConnect. BitConnect is gone. Nobody uses BitConnect anymore. Man, that guy that screamed BitConnect, that's a ridiculous video. What do I click to get on the night owl? Jerome, just click the Discord link, which I will post right here for you. Once you get on the Discord, you just want to go down to the voice chat under here and just click voice 1. Make sure you have your push to talk on. And to turn that on, click user settings, voice and video, and then you can figure it out. You guys are smart. If you're in crypto and you don't know how to use push to talk. Somebody said broke through the trend line there, just there. No, it didn't break through the trend line because here's why. These wicks are almost like levels that you could still draw within. And the reason I say that, you know, some people, they only like to draw with the wicks, but the wicks are so sporadic, it's hard to really get a pattern with the wicks, right? Like you can do this and use the wicks, the end of the wicks as the indicator, but it gets really hard to connect them because look, like right here, it's rare that the wicks have that pattern. Matter of fact, you can actually see it better when you use the Heikin-Ashi chart. You can see here, this one here can draw the patterns out a little bit better. I might start using this a little bit more for you guys. Since we're drawing patterns, it's good for drawing out those support and resistance lines. So this right here is kind of like what we were drawing out before. We weren't drawing it using those wicks, right? So if you don't want to use the wicks, you can always use, instead of using a candle, you can use the Heikin-Ashi. It's fine, you know. You're still seeing what matters, which is the price movements, right? The only difference is you're not going to have that wicks, and it's a little bit more shaped out in order for you to draw these patterns a little bit better. So you can see in the comparison, pretty much the same. It's just drawn out a little bit nicer for you guys. But I use the wicks a lot. That's why I use the, you know, when I'm doing my real trading and I have all my indicators open, I'm typically using that wicks quite often. So yeah. Shout out to Bernardo, just edited their pledge. Thank you, man. All right, so we're gonna head over to that night owl, guys. Oh wow, we got a full house. That is awesome, guys. Everybody's there now. So yes, if you're not on Discord, I just posted the link in the chat. I'd love to see you guys there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Somebody said he did Tron at the beginning. I'm sure he's gonna go up. Yeah, I already did Tron. Somebody said, could you look at Tron again? Did it break out like within a minute? Best technical analysis book. I put it here in helpful reads, all about candlestick charting. So if you go on our Discord, go here, and then this is the best one in my opinion for beginners. These are the best Bitcoin books. This is for a beginner. This is intermediate. This is more of the ladies. I think the ladies would enjoy this one. And then this one is for any trader that wants a mindset, because trading is a mindset. It's not a skill. Well, it's kind of a skill, but oh, VIP access says PPC USD. Yes, Mahmed. All right, let's do PPC really quick before we go. If we have any super chats, we can do those too. Let me see. No, we got nothing. Okay, so PPT, and we're using this new Heikin-Ashi chart. Hopefully you guys can cope with it. Might be a little bit new. Okay, let me delete this really quick. So this is an interesting chart. We're starting to round about. Typically, if you pull up EOS, this actually had a very similar chart recently. You can see EOS, we actually called this cup and handle breakout. but it really went from that red to that green, and then it curved itself back up. So typically what happens with these curves, oh wow, what just happened? PPT, BTC, all right. Why is it doing it like that? Oh, there you go. Wow, what coin were we just watching? Oh my gosh. Oh, PPC. That's why. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? All right, there you go. So typically when you see this round shape, you know, it is an indicator that now we found a bottom and now we're starting to go back up and we'll see more green volume, but that doesn't always happen. You can see this coin, it looks like it's seeing this long low trend, and it's kind of seen that before where it's had this roundabout. So what I would say in this coin right now, if we pull up the 1 day, you can see we're right at that 50-day moving average, and typically based on the past, we've jumped over that before, but we went right under it, jumped on top, went under it, and already has jumped on top. If we were under the 50-day, I would say, like, if this was around this time frame here, January 10th, not January, well, actually that's October-ish. So if this was around October, under that 50-day, or even November-ish, December-ish, really December is when we saw that run up, and then December 10th, this right here would have been a really prime point to buy, in my opinion, for a coin like this. But right now it's a little bit in that danger zone because we're so far from this. We're about 26% away from that 50-day moving average. So I would say, you know, with this coin, it really depends. If you're holding it, I think it's a good hold. If you're looking to put a buy position in, I would be careful right now because we're at these lower levels, but this is a bull flag, so that could potentially break higher, start to curve its way and follow that trend. But it could certainly go back down to that 50-day moving average. Now, the one other tool I want to use here is the auto fib. Yeah, so you can see we broke through that second Fibonacci level already, but we went right back down. So here's what I would say. If we can form a channel here within this fib level, then that right there would be assuring to me that would go higher. But currently we broke past it but went right back down into that lower Fibonacci level. So if we're still within this now we're still in this channel is what I'm trying to say. We broke through, but we're still within this channel right now, so this could certainly see itself go back down. At that point, it might touch that 50-day, and then you can get in a good buy price, better than where it's at now. So if it goes up, though, it's most likely going to bounce within this channel here in that second Fibonacci level. So that's what I would say for PPC. And then let's go ahead and look here at the chat. Somebody said, I have $10. Can you promo BitConnect for me? Somebody said, go to Trading 101 on the Discord channel, guys, to learn shapes and really learn about moving averages. 5100 seems popular. I use them along with 20 and 200-day moving averages, but learn a lot. Learn about moving average. Yes, for sure, Danielle. Thank you. Thank you, Danielle. What are your thoughts on coin forks? It depends. I think Stellar did a really good fork of Ripple. They didn't connect anything. What level Patreon do you need for the Night Owl Tonight crypto brand? No Patreon for this one. Anybody can join this Night Owl Tonight. All of you guys can be in here. You can see we have, looks like we have over 60, maybe even 100 people here. We have 81 right now. So yeah, we have tons of people here, guys. So we'll take questions, Q&A. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. Listen in. So yeah, guys, what chat on Discord? Voice_1. Somebody said, where's your server link? Just posted it. I don't get it. I post it right here, and then this person asked me after I post it. That's fine. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Did you guys enjoy this tonight? Hopefully some of you guys did. If you're not coming onto the Discord, that's fine. Thank you guys for tuning in, but I'd love to see all of you guys there tonight. I definitely want to have a really productive Night Owl tonight. But thank you guys so much. I know there's tons of requests, guys. We just can't get through everything. Seriously, it's a great time to be alive. Best of luck to everyone. I wish to have a convo with someone with mutual success stories. For sure, MJ. Somebody said charts are half the battle. You really need to investigate the technology and usability behind a coin to determine if it has a future. 100%, Michael. If you're long-term investing, I would always look at the white paper, get into depth. See you in bad honey. Yes. Somebody said my wish. Stern said thank you. You were great. Thank you, Stern. Appreciate that, man. Julissa said my wish. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Somebody said true charts and fundamental. Yes, Nixon. Crypto brand said found it. Nice. Awesome, man. All right, guys. I'll see you guys at the Night Owl. Looks like that's it. Exile. See you later, man. Take care, Michael. Take care, Jared. Take care, Edwin. Petro coin tomorrow. That's funny. I don't know if I'd trust a coin from Venezuela. I don't know who's going to be using that one, right? All right, Nathan. I'll see you in the Night Owl, man. Somebody said ratings. What do you mean? Like the video? How many likes do we have? Who cares? Likes are likes. If you guys want to like it, you can. Balkan said, see you on Discord. See you there, man. Take care, Nixon. Take care. I'm a VIP. Can you tell me what you think about HTML coin? I haven't looked into HTML coin, Mo. Did you post it on the VIP access? Oh. I thought you posted it on the VIP access. I mean, I couldn't tell you what I think about HTML coin. I haven't really looked much into it, but we probably should. Somebody said, get some sleep, brother. We're going to be heading over to the Night Owl. Let me see something, though. I think I drew out something for HTML coin. No, I didn't. It's not even on TradingView. All right, guys. I'm going to be heading out. Cheers from France. Take care, ganked. All right, guys. We'll see you at the Night Owl. Snipers out.